a voice said beside me. I blinked, snapping my head around to see Sam standing there, bewildered eyes staring after the Valerians that had just left through the docking tunnel. Was that a different Valerian than the one before, or was that the one that ran into you? Because either would be juicy conversation. I hesitated. Same one, I think? I knew. I didn't think. I knew. Really? She squeaked, as if we were about to have a good gossip session about the big new crush. I pressed a finger over my lips, giving her a look. Sorry, she said, lowering her voice. But seriously, twice? Did you guys talk? What happened? No, I said. We're not having this conversation. He's an alien, Sam. Come on, I saw him touch your hand. What did it feel like? Was he cold, slimy? Warm, actually. Warm and smooth and... Damn it! I shook my head, walking to one of the walls to hold on to something. He was an alien. I didn't know his name, I didn't know what he looked like. There was no way he was making my nether regions tingle. I clearly was feeling the effects of space, or something, or maybe I was just that desperate. My brain was mixed up and I was starved for physical touch. Any physical touch. Not his specifically. My body was just being a little slut. At least, that was what I wanted to think. You're no fun, Sam complained. Hey, another voice said. A deeper one with less of an energetic hype to it. I glanced over my shoulder to see Quinn walking up with her hands hanging on her jumpsuit's belt loops. What was that? What? I said with a shrug. Did everyone see me brush skin with an alien? The thing with Vaco, Quinn said. Who? I asked. Vaco, she motioned with her finger, drawing lines down her arms. He captains the Urlos, and that just happens to be the Urlos out there. You looked a little cozy with him. A little turbulence said we were on our way back to the Nexus, and I braced myself until the craft leveled out again. Hold up, Sam said. You know that guy? Alien? Everyone on the Nexus knows of him. Vaco was captain of a battalion before our time. Really good pilot. I'd love to pick his brain, but he's not very talkative. None of them are. I nodded, pretending to be interested purely on a professional level. The truth was far more than that. If Vaco wasn't talkative, why the hell was he brushing his bare hand on my palm? And he spoke to me, and I understood him. Did they all speak our language? Ugh. I would know all of that information already if I'd actually taken the courses to study aliens like the new recruits were required to. Knowing there was still more information to find on my buddy made me eager to get back to the Nexus so I could do some research. It was a short FTL ride to the wormhole, and I anxiously bit at my lip thinking about Vaco for that little stretch of time. Every once in a while, I'd brush my hands together softly, recalling what he felt like when he slid his fingers across mine. I'd been craving contact almost my whole life. Not sex, although that would be great, but just contact. Real contact. A real connection. I wasn't saying I liked the alien or anything. My heart pumping a million miles a second was just because of space and my excitement over it. Definitely not because I was pining over some humanoid creature in a black suit. What you thinking about? Sam said, nudging me with her elbow. Nothing, I said. Thinking about your alien boyfriend? Stop, I chuckled. What, the past couple weeks have been interesting, but I miss drama. I need a little spice, you know? And being on the Nexus has made me a little, randy, she whispered. Sam, I snapped. What? They don't even have VR systems here. I held up my hand and wriggled my fingers. That's what this is for. Wow, Sam laughed. We don't get enough privacy here. I mean, what do you do with your free time? Study? Study what? Lately? Flight plans for transports. Sounds really boring. I chuckled because it was, but I still wanted to know about it. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the ship, catching me off guard. Sam jumped out of her seat, eyes darting from one side of the cargo bay to the other. What the hell is that? She said. Those are proximity alarms, Quinn said. What's that mean? Means the scanners are picking something up. What? I said. Like something's coming toward us? And with that, the ship came to a swift halt that it clearly wasn't prepared for. The engines vibrated beneath our feet so hard and so loud that it sent a jolt right through my legs. I stumbled toward one of the cipher crates, grasping the straps to stabilize myself while Sam just fell flat on her ass. Quinn looked pretty composed, her eyes jumping around and soaking in the cargo bay. I followed suit, searching for loose beams or things that might be knocked out of place. Recruits were scampering to the seats along the walls, buckling themselves in, while Penny came rushing down the stairs toward us, using the railings to skip 3 steps at a time without falling. "Listen up," she said. "Everybody buckle in." "What's going on?" Quinn asked. "We have a spacecraft converging on us. It didn't appear on the scanners until—" Her words were cut off by the jarring motion of the ship, and as I held tight to the crate, I felt something knocked to the side. Penny went flying up into the air as sparks sputtered from various places in the ceiling. Sam screamed, hanging onto one of the seats while Quinn rushed forward to grab the same crate that I was braced against. "Holy fucking shit!" Sam screamed. Eyes wide, I watched Penny slam against another crate and held my breath. She flopped to the floor, limp. Hopefully unconscious and not dead, but I couldn't go back to check with the ship as unstable as it was. "This is not good," Quinn said. "These are cipher crates." "Yeah, and?" I asked. I probably should have known the answer to that if I was a real recruit, but I wasn't. I was a fake, and I really wanted to know why bouncing crates weren't good. I mean, obviously something had just run into us, but why else was it not good? "Cipher is unstable as hell," Quinn said, eyeing the box we were attached to. "That's why there are so many boxes. The crystals are heavily padded because if they're jostled or if they crash into each other, they go boom." "Boom?" I said. "Yeah, boom." The other recruits were screaming. I saw Omar bravely unbuckle his seatbelt and rush to Penny with one other coworker and wanted to go myself, but there was no way. I was too far and the ship was still rumbling. A man came rushing down the stairs, eyes flitting about in a panic as he stumbled toward Penny. "Maddie!" Quinn bellowed. "What's happening?" The man's head whipped in our direction. "Security escort was shot down," he said, frantic. "Slammed right into us." "What the hell do we do?" I said. Quinn opened her mouth to say something when the ship's computer spoke over the intercoms. "All passengers brace for FTL," it said. "Are you kidding me?" Quinn barked. "They're gonna fucking kill us." "Why would that kill us?" I asked. "Because we're already compromised. FTL would tear us apart. This pilot is a fucking joke. I should have been on the bridge." Suddenly, the rumbling beneath our feet screeched to a stop and went completely still. It didn't take a rocket scientist to know the engines were dying. Guess there wasn't going to be a jump, and clearly we hadn't reached the highway. "Escape pods activated," the computer said. Quinn spun to face Omar and the others, hanging onto the crate with one hand while she pointed with the other. "Get Penny to the pods," she ordered. She was clearly made for this kind of action, whereas I was completely dazed and Sam was curled around a seat on the floor like a drunk college student hanging onto a toilet. Omar nodded at Penny, and then he and 2 others carried her unconscious form away to what I assumed were escape vessels. "What are we going to do?" I asked as the ship strafed to the side again. The engine roared up once more, but it didn't sound right. Something was definitely wrong. "Escape pods are designed to go back toward the Nexus as soon as they're launched," Quinn said. "Hopefully someone will pick us up. We need to get to one." Her eyes searched that giant cargo bay when the computer spoke up again. "Pods 8 through 11 are damaged," it said. "Consider max capacity on remaining pods." "Shit!" Quinn hissed. "Now what are we gonna do?" Sam screamed. A loud boom thundered from the front of the ship, making the walls quake. I watched in horror as one of the crates broke free of half its restraints, sliding a foot to one side and knocking another box. My life flashed before my eyes, but it didn't explode. "We need to get out of here," Quinn said, stuffing her hand into her pocket and pulling out a silver ID card. Her eyes darted toward the back of the cargo bay where a large object was covered in a white tarp. "There! We need to get there. It's a transporter. It's meant to enter planetary atmospheres." There was no time to argue. Quinn released the crate and started stumbling toward the vessel while I pried my fingers off the straps and tripped toward Sam. I grabbed her under her arms, pried her from the seat, and started hauling her toward the transport. "Oh my God, we're gonna die," she said. "Shut up," I said, tugging her forward until her legs worked again. Quinn yanked the tarp off the transport, and I saw that it was just a tiny ship. hardly large enough to hold half a dozen people, but it would do. Swiping her ID badge across the control panel at the back of the vessel, she activated a loading ramp that lowered down on thick hydraulics. She sprinted up it, bracing every time the cargo ship jostled. Looking back, I saw the cipher crate break free of its restraints completely and slide across the floor, hitting the far wall. "Shit!" I screamed, pushing Sam onto the transport. "Come on!" Quinn yelled. As soon as we were in, she slammed a hand on the interior panel and called the ramp back up. "Buckle in," she said, rushing to the front. A digital screen rose up from a triangular platform where she sat herself down, and she started speedily swiping her fingers over commands. I shoved Sam into a seat and tightened her buckles before practically falling into a seat of my own and strapping in. "You got this, right?" I asked shakily, watching Quinn power up the transport. "Let's just say I'm glad I got a priority student badge last week," she said. I felt the purr of the ship's systems warming up and gripped the straps across my chest. "How are we going to get off the freighter?" I said. People always said the universe provided, and when the whole ship quaked around us for the 10th time, I noticed it just had. Looking out through one of the tiny round windows behind Sam's head, I saw a wall of flames and debris where another cipher crate had broken loose and smashed the other against the wall. Pink fire rose up in a plume of heat, destroying the metal layers. "Fuck! Shit!" Sam said, running her fingers tightly through her hair. "Calm down and shut up," Quinn said. "No, you don't get it! We're gonna die!" "That's... Zen?" Quinn said. "What's Zen?" I asked. "Yes, Quinn." A computer spoke. Sam and I shot each other wide-eyed looks. "Get me access to any defensive weapons on this transport," Quinn said. "This transport has no defensive weaponry installed." "What do we have? I need an explosion." 2 spare chemical canisters can be ejected and ignited." "Do it!" Just like that, I felt a thump under my feet as the freighter's electricity suddenly went dark. 2 little pill-shaped pods slid out from the bottom of the ship, rolled towards the flames, and exploded against the already weakened wall. I screamed, squeezing my eyes shut. And I kept them shut, trusting Quinn to do what I couldn't: pilot a damn ship. "Hang on!" Quinn yelled over the ruckus. The transport suddenly rose off the ground as a giant hole appeared in one side of the cargo bay, leading out into the black of space. I clenched my teeth as Quinn squeezed through the hole and slipped out of the freighter. But we weren't out of the woods yet. Quinn pursed her lips, her eyes wide and unblinking. She looked at the control panel as soon as we were out of the cargo bay, but debris was floating all around us, weightless and battered and flying every which way, knocking into us from all directions. "Oh, fuck!" she said. "God damn it! Piss in a goddamn pot and shit on my head!" "What is it?" I asked. "Nothing. I'm just really stressed out. We're getting bullied by debris out here, and this thing only has shields for atmospheric entry. It's not a damn battleship." I couldn't even begin to interpret what she was feeling. She kept swiping through commands on the control screen so fast that I couldn't keep up. "Shields at 30%, Zen informed. "I'm about to do something stupid," she said. "Stupid is fine if you think it'll get us out of this mess." "Zen," Quinn said. "We're in danger. Steer us toward the best path and get us the fuck out of here." "Yes, Quinn," he replied. I tightened my seat straps, as if they could get any tighter, and held on for dear life. "Does this thing have FTL?" I asked. "Nope, just light speed," Quinn said. "It's an antique, it'll have to do." "There is fuel for 1 jump," Zen said. "Do it!" "Yes, Quinn." The ship moved forward, picking up speed. As it did, I felt my buddy buzz against my wrist and tapped it awake. It was a Nexus transmission. It read, "Sagittarius is under attack. Escape pods in need of pickup. All search and rescue units to the docking bay for retrieval." And that was about the eeriest thing I could have ever seen. I had been on that ship that just got ripped up. I wondered if Omar and the others had made it out. Searching through the tiny windows for the source of the attack, I saw a looming shadow near the flames of the cargo ship. But the transport was moving too fast for me to make it out. All I knew was that I didn't want to be there. Space travel was great, but I really wasn't keen on dying in the expanse during my first month of work. "I had to volunteer for this mission," Quinn muttered to herself. "Why couldn't I just stay on the Nexus?" There's a large craft blocking the jump path, Zen said. Fuck! Does this shuttle have coordinates for Fipso B? Yes, Quinn. Fipso? I said. Valerians own that solar system, right? Yep, Quinn answered. If we head that way, maybe the Valerian ship can track us and give us a hand. Shit, this is so stupid. Zen, input coordinates. Human vessels do not have clearance to... Zen, I swear to God. Why not go back to the station? I said. Because those little stations are too important. Part of our agreement with Valerians was to protect those stations. We can't bring these guys right to it. I squirmed nervously in my seat. Ugh, I can't believe this. I was preparing for a promotion, Quinn complained. Zen, map a new path now and make the jump. Anywhere. And send a damn distress call. We need help. She craned her head to look at me. With any luck, your boyfriend will get it. They would be a lot closer than the Nexus, or any other ship for that matter. Distress call active, Zen said. I heard an eerie moan that reached all the way to the pit of my stomach and looked out the window to see open space again. It was terrifying, like a great big beast ready to swallow us instead of the serene emptiness I saw before. Quinn, I said, what's that noise? Big ship, she answered. Zen, make the jump. Minimum override. Make the fucking jump. Yes, Quinn. I closed my eyes just as a violent vibration rippled through the transport. It felt like I was going to get ripped apart. My feet floated up, and if I wasn't strapped in, I would have too. I was certain. I held on, sure I was about to die, and then felt my feet slowly lower again. My weight sunk back into the seat, and I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. When I opened my eyes, there was nothing but a black and blue haze swarming around the front of the ship like vapor. Quinn was still at the controls, not calming down, and I was worried about what that meant. Quinn, what's happening? I'm gonna be sick, Sam mumbled across from me. We're in a jump, Quinn answered, but there's another ship with us. What ship? I asked. The big scary ship? Pretty sure that was Gektal. Looks like they're tracking us and riding the stream. Riding our stream? Like, following us? Yup, she said, popping her pea. Zen, what's on our tail exactly? No recognizable readings detected. Spacecraft is of unknown origin. Awesome, Quinn grumbled. She spun around in her chair, pointing an accusatory finger. If I get fucking probed, I'm going to kick your ass, Harmon. Me? Why me? Because you had to volunteer for this stupid job and I didn't want to look like a little bitch, so I came too. We're gonna get probed? Sam yelled, straining her voice. This was absolutely not the time to lose our shit. I gripped my sanity as well as my seat and I just held on for dear life. There was nothing else I could do.